The massive bridge of the Zornak flagship Vraxis buzzed with sharp clicks and low hums. Angular metal walls gleamed under cold blue lights. Holographic star maps floated in the air, showing hundreds of ships spread like deadly teeth across the void. Admiral Krelmar stood tall by the viewport, his dark eyes cold and narrow. Around him, Orbek's tech specialists tapped rapidly on glowing consoles. The air was thick with confidence. They were deep in human space now. Easy prey. "Look at them," Krelmar sneered. "Primitive, slow. Their drone swarm is nothing but a cloud of rusty bugs. Their processors crawl at a pace our children could outthink." Vitek, an Orvex hacker with spindly limbs wrapped in data cables, chuckled. "Their drones are barely more than toys. Simple commands, laughable AI. I crack their swarm's encryption in minutes. Minutes, Admiral. Soon we will control those buzzing pests like puppets." Krelmar grinned, the sharp edges of his mandibles catching the harsh light. "Their so-called advanced swarm? A joke. Their ships? Antiquated. We bring the future, sleek metal hulls, plasma cannons, energy shields stronger than their entire fleet combined." Vitek swiveled his head toward a floating hologram. The human swarm hovered like a black cloud, thousands of tiny shapes darting about. "Observe. Each drone moves in simple patterns, predictable. Once hacked, will turn their own swarm against them." The others around the bridge laughed. Zornak officers exchanged smug glances. The Orvex specialists tapped furiously, sending hacking bursts through space waves toward human defenses. Krelmar's voice cut through the chatter. "Prepare the attack wave. We strike fast. We strike smart. Their resistance will fall before we crack their fragile code. Then the swarm becomes ours." An engineer called out, "Admiral, hacking signals are transmitting. Code breach underway." Vitek's eyes gleamed. "It's already done. The human software is archaic. They won't know what hit them." On the bridge, holograms flickered as data streamed in. The human drone swarm's control loop was opening like a cracked shell. The Orvex cheered softly, their overconfidence filling the room. Krelmar looked out at the stars beyond the viewport. "They think we are their predators, but they are the hunted. Soon their swarm will dance to our tune. The galaxy will remember the day the Zornak devoured the humans." A young officer leaned forward, voice shaky. "Admiral, what if their swarm resists? What if they have hidden defenses?" Krelmar laughed, a harsh, echoing sound. "Hidden defenses? Against us? They cling to old myths and fairy tales. Not. We will burn their worlds to ash before their scratches learn to bite." Vitek smirked, fingers flying across his console. "The software is old. The AI is slow. Our hack will be complete by the time their fleet even knows we're here." "Good," Krelmar said. "Then prepare the attack wave. Let the humans see the true meaning of fear." The bridge filled with the steady hum of war machines waking. Outside the viewport, stars seemed to burn colder as the Vraxis led a galaxy's might against a foe deemed unworthy. In the silence before battle, one thought echoed through Krelmar's mind: they are weak. We are unstoppable. As the Zornak commander studied the strange human machines, a chilling thought crept into their minds. Ancient stories warned of foes that learn too fast and never forget. The Orvex hacker Vitek tapped rapidly on his glowing console. "Their drone swarm is outdated. Slow processors, weak encryption. We will crack it in minutes." Admiral Krelmar sneered, his sharp eyes scanning the intercepted human transmissions. "These humans cannot keep pace with us. Their updates lag behind our assaults. They barely keep their drones functional." Vitek smirked. "Exactly. Well, hijack their swarm, turn their weapons against them. The Elders' warnings are old tales, paranoia from a weaker age." Krelmar waved a clawed hand dismissively. "Elders speak of instant evolution and self-learning swarms, myth and fear. Our fleets have crushed foes far stronger than these humans." The room buzzed with nervous energy. Around them, holographic star maps flickered, showing failed alien fleets. Etched warnings from Elder races hovered ghost-like, cryptic symbols glowing faintly. Vitek leaned forward, fingers dancing on the console. "Still, the Elders' archives mention humanity's drone tech adapts mid-battle. Instant firmware rewrites. Anomaly detection that learns from every strike. Krelmar growled. Legends meant to scare children. We control the code now. Soon, their swarm will dance to our tune. An older Zornak commander, Captain Rask, frowned. I've fought humans before. Their machines change on the fly. You cannot predict their next move. Vitek laughed. Captain, the humans' learning is slow. We have their transmissions. We can prepare countermeasures. Rask's eyes narrowed. Slow? Their last battle showed rapid changes. Fleets fell apart under their swarms' adaptive tactics. We ignore the Elder's warnings at our peril. Kralmar slammed a claw on the console. Enough! We strike at dawn! Confidence is our weapon. Vitek's fingers paused, then resumed typing with renewed vigor. It'll breach their drone network. We will own the swarm before they can react. Across the bridge, holograms shifted to show human drone formations, thousands of small black machines buzzing like a storm. The Orvex tech specialist pointed at the displays. See their code updates? Fragmented, seemingly random, but each change is a puzzle piece in a bigger design. Their AI does not merely react, it predicts. Krelmar snorted. Humans predict? They are reactive animals. Soon they will be our puppets. Suddenly, a ghostly projection appeared, an ancient Elder Council meeting captured centuries ago. The Elders spoke in solemn tones. Beware the species whose minds move as swarms. Their machines do not forget. Each failure becomes a lesson. Their weapons evolve with every strike. The oldest Elder intoned, if underestimated, they will consume fleets whole, adapt, and return stronger. Vitek shook his head. Ancient fear-mongering. We have advanced hacking tools. Their swarm is a child's toy in our hands. Krelmar's gaze hardened. Then let us prove it. The humans will learn what happens when they face true power. Captain Rask stepped forward, voice low but firm. Remember, Admiral, we wage war on more than machines. We fight a force that never rests. Their swarm is a living storm. Krelmar turned sharply. Storm or not, our fleet will be the thunder that breaks them. As the bridge lights dimmed, preparations began. The Zornak and Orvex crews readied their weapons, confident and eager. But deep inside, unease gnawed at some. The ancient warnings were not just stories. Humanity was not just another enemy. They were something far more dangerous, something that learned faster than any code could crack, and they would prove it soon enough. But while the Zornak heeded their ancient warnings, Admiral Haruto Takeda saw something different, an enemy they had never faced before, one he was ready to meet head-on. The bridge of the UES in Atlantica hummed with quiet energy. Soft amber lights bathed the faces of the crew. Holographic displays floated above polished consoles, showing thousands of tiny black dots, all part of the human drone swarm. Each dot moved like a living thing, darting and weaving in a vast invisible web around the distant colony below. Takeda stood tall, his sharp eyes scanning the swarm map. His voice cut through the calm like a blade. The Zornak think we're slow, primitive. They don't know our swarms think faster than any machine in their fleet. Next to him, Admiral Anya Volkov tapped rapidly on her console. We just finished uploading the latest neural net upgrade, she said, eyes gleaming with quiet pride. Instant learning, real-time adaptation. They'll try to hack one drone and the whole swarm will change before their eyes. Takeda let out a dry laugh. They still don't get it. They see black drones as just bugs, but a swarm is a brain made of 1,000 minds. You hack one, you trigger 1,000,000 changes. Commander Rivera on the Defiance just reported the colony shields are stable. The Liberators' drone bays are fully stocked and ready. We're waiting for their first move. A soft chime interrupted them. Volkov glanced at her console and nodded. Incoming intel from orbital sensors. Zornak and Orvex fleets massing. They're confident. Too confident. Takeda's jaw tightened. Let them come. They always underestimate human resolve and human innovation. Around them, crew members worked smoothly. The bridge was a hive of calculated calm. No panic. No fear, just readiness. Volkov leaned closer. Haruto, remind me again how many times the Zornak have underestimated us? Takeda smiled. More than I can count. Every time we surprise them. Every time they forget one thing. Humanity fights dirty, fast, and smart. The Atlantica's forward view screen lit up with a hologram of the colony's surface. Tiny figures moved across the landscape. Soldiers, engineers, civilians. This was home. Their home. Protecting it was more than duty. It was survival. Suddenly, the drone swarm's hologram shifted. Thousands of black specks swirled faster, reacting to invisible commands. Volkov's voice was steady but intense. Our swarm isn't just defense, it's the shield and spear. They'll try to hack us, but we're ready. Each drone learns from every attack. More than that, it teaches its neighbors instantly. Takeda nodded. We don't just survive the hack, we turn it into a weapon, a junior officer called out from the back. Admiral, sensors show the Zornak fleet breaking through the outer perimeter. They're coming in fast. Takeda clasped his hands behind his back. This is it. Remember, humans don't just react. We anticipate. We adapt. We win. Volkov stood straight. I've been watching the Zornak's hacking attempts on our network. They'll overwhelm one node, but the swarm will isolate and quarantine it in seconds. Takeda's eyes burned with determination. Let them try. Let the Orvex hackers taste failure. We are not a code they can break. The bridge doors slid open, and Commander Hugo Rivera entered briskly. Intel confirms the Orvex are already probing our drone algorithms. They think they'll control the swarm in minutes. Volkov shook her head. Minutes? They won't get past the first wave. Takeda's voice dropped sharp and clear. This fight is more than drones and tech. It's about spirit, about refusing to fall. He stepped forward to the main console. The holographic swarm map pulsed with life, each drone a spark in a living storm. Prepare all ships, Takeda ordered. Set defensive protocols. Stand by for rapid countermeasures. Volkov tapped her console, bringing up layered defense grids, all sectors holding. The swarm is ready. The bridge fell silent except for the soft hum of machines and the distant stars beyond the viewport. Takeda's voice broke the quiet, low and steady. We've beaten worse odds before. The Zornak fleet thinks they're facing a simple bug swarm. They don't realize they're stepping into a storm. Volkov smiled, a flash of fierce pride. Let's show them what humanity really means. Outside the Atlantica, the black drones waited, silent, deadly, and ready to become the nightmare the Zornak and Orvex never saw coming, because humanity wasn't just fighting with machines. They were fighting with heart, with mind, and with the unbreakable will to survive. Just as Admiral Takeda scanned the calm horizon, the first sharp flashes of enemy fire burst through the void. The Zornak fleet had launched their attack. Bright green energy beams lanced across space, cutting through the black like jagged lightning. Explosions bloomed among the human drone swarm, tiny black shapes bursting into sparks. The swarm faltered, scattering under the sudden onslaught. Contact! They're hitting us hard, warned Lieutenant Chen from the Atlantica's tactical station. Admiral Volkov's fingers danced over her console. Orvex hacking attempts have started. They're trying to break into our drone codes now. The three human ships, Atlantica, Defiance, and Liberator, shuddered as enemy fire peppered their shields. Red warning lights flared inside the bridges. The hum of drones filled the air, but tension tightened every breath. Krelmar's voice boomed over the enemy comm channel, cold and arrogant. Humans, your primitive swarm will fall. Our hackers will control your drones in minutes. Prepare to surrender. Takeda's jaw tightened. They think this is a simple game. A volley of Zornak plasma bolts struck the swarm center, detonating dozens of drones. The swarm wavered, their perfect formations breaking into chaotic spirals, swarm cohesion dropping to 47%, reported Volkov, eyes flicking to data streams. The hackers are in. Orvex operators aboard the Zornak flagship. Vraxis laughed, were inside their network. Patch in the commands. Suddenly, the swarm's movement jerked. The drones hesitated, then started to turn, not toward their human pilots, but into strange new patterns. Alien commands pulsed through their signals. The human ships rocked violently as a stray plasma burst grazed the Defiance's shield. Damage to forward thrusters, but stable. Captain Rivera called out. "Hold formation," Takeda ordered. "Don't let their hack break our lines." Explosions flared around them. Alien fighters tore into the swarm's outer edges, knocking drones from the sky. Orvex hackers pushed deeper, injecting more invasive code. Volkov's voice was steady but sharp. Their virus is replicating fast, but the swarm isn't just obeying. In the midst of the chaos, the drones began shifting again. Their black bodies glimmered with new, strange patterns. Instead of falling under alien control, they started breaking apart the corrupted code. "Impossible," muttered Lieutenant Chen. "They're fighting back, reprogramming on the fly." Krelmar's smug tone faltered as frantic alarms blared on the Vraxis. "Report! Why isn't the swarm responding?" The Zornak flagship's holograms flickered wildly. The alien fleet's coordination wavered as drone strikes missed their targets. "Orbex hack signals are fluctuating," Volkov announced. "They're losing control." Takeda grinned under his breath. "This is our fight." The swarm massed into tight clusters, weaving through the alien ship's energy beams like a deadly cloud. The human fleet pushed forward, lasers cutting through the enemy's outer wings. "Enemy flagship in range," Rivera said. "Target locked." The Defiance fired a charged plasma shot. The Atlantica followed with a spread of missile salvos. Alien ships erupted in brutal. On the Vraxis, Krelmar barked orders, desperate to regain control. "Isolate the humans! Reinforce the Orvex hackers!" But the hackers were losing ground. Their screens flashed red warnings. The drones weren't just surviving, they were adapting. Volkov's voice rang out, calm but fierce. "We're holding our line, but more attacks are incoming." Takeda nodded. "Then we fight harder." Around them, the swarm surged forward, a living storm of black metal and light. Alien ships scrambled, their formations breaking apart as the drone swarm sliced through defenses. The battle was far from over, but one thing was clear. The Zornak and Orvex had underestimated humanity, and it was about to cost them everything. As the Zornak ships unleashed their first volley, Admiral Takeda's eyes narrowed. He knew the real battle was just beginning, and the humans held a secret the aliens had never expected. The alien energy blasts tore through the outer drone formations. Hundreds of little black machines exploded like fireflies in the void. The human ships shuddered under the impact. Red warning lights flashed across the bridge of the Atlantica. "Status report," Takeda barked. "We're holding formation, but the swarm is thinning," replied Lieutenant Mara, fingers flying over her console. Then, the impossible happened. The drones stopped falling apart. Instead, they shifted. Like a living storm, the swarm twisted and reformed. Admiral Volkov's voice cut through the tension. "They're adapting." "What do you mean, adapting?" Takeda asked, leaning forward. Volkov pointed at the holographic display. "The drones just received hacked commands from the Orbex. Instead of obeying, they analyzed the signals and rewrote their own code." The bridge crew gasped. "Rewrote their code? In battle?" Takeda asked, incredulous. Volkov nodded. "Yes. They are updating their firmware." Instantly, a new pattern glowed on the drone map. The swarm spread out, then clustered into tight formations that no one had programmed before. "They're learning from the attack in real time," said Volkov. "Our drones aren't just machines, they're a neural network." Takeda's jaw clenched, so the Orvex started a cyber attack, and the drones turned it around on them. "Exactly," Volkov said grimly. "The swarm is now counter-hacking. They're isolating Orvex signals, jamming their targeting systems." Alarms blared aboard the Vraxis flagship. On the Zornak bridge, Admiral Krelmar's confident smile turned to confusion. "What's happening? Our commands aren't reaching the swarm," he growled. Vitek, the lead Orvex hacker, frantically typed at his console. "They're resisting. The drones are blocking our signals, countermeasures we didn't see coming." Back on the human bridge, Takeda grinned. "They thought they could control us. Instead, we're controlling them." It's a coordinated swarm strike designed to hit vulnerable points in the enemy fleet. The hologram showed thousands of drones splitting into squadrons. They darted toward the gaps in the Zornak battle line, engine exhausts, weapon arrays, sensor pods. "Smart missiles can't keep up with this," Volkov said. "The aliens will be blind before the swarm hits." Takeda's voice was calm but fierce. "All ships, prepare for synchronized strike. This ends now." The drone formations flowed like water, then struck like lightning. Explosions rippled through the alien fleet. The Vraxis flagship rocked violently as drones swarmed its shields. Vitek shouted, "We're losing control! The swarm is breaking our networks!" Krelmar slammed his fist on the console. "Impossible! These humans on the Atlantica!" Takeda stood and addressed his officers. Their arrogance cost them everything. They saw our drones as toys. They didn't realize they faced a mind, a swarm that thinks faster than any ship or crew. Volkov smiled, eyes shining. "This is what happens when you underestimate evolution. Our drones don't just follow orders. They create new ones." The alien weapon system sputtered as sensors failed. Confused Zornak ships collided in the chaos. The Orvex hackers tried desperately to regain control, but the swarm's countermeasures kept them locked out. "Admiral, the enemy fleet is fracturing," reported Lieutenant Mara. Takeda's gaze hardened. "Good. Keep the pressure on." The human ship surged forward, supporting the swarm with precise fire. In the distance, the flagship Vraxis shuddered under relentless drone assaults. Fire and smoke poured from its hull. The Zornak and Orvex faces flickered on the enemy holograms, wide-eyed, panicked. Takeda's voice echoed across the bridge. They thought this would be a quick victory. Instead, they unleashed a nightmare. Volkov nodded. "Our secret was never just the drones. It's how fast we learn and how fiercely we fight back." The swarm moved again, shifting shape like a living shadow. This was not just technology, it was humanity's will made flesh, and the universe would never forget it. As the Zornak fleet scrambled to understand the human secret, Admiral Takeda's voice cut through the static, calm and confident, ready to explain what made their drones unstoppable. "This is Admiral Haruto Takeda of the United Earth Space Navy," he spoke with quiet power. "You thought you could break us by hacking our swarm. You believed our machines were simple puppets, easy to control. You were wrong." The communication channels crackled with the alien fleet's stunned silence. On the Atlantica's bridge, Takeda's sharp eyes scanned the glowing tactical displays. The swarm shifted, glinting like a black storm, weaving patterns that no alien code could predict. Admiral Anya Volkov stood beside him, her voice steady as she added, "Our drones are not just machines. They are minds. 1,000,000 tiny minds connected across space and data. When you tried to control them, you unleashed a force you did not understand." Takeda's voice grew stronger, a calm thunder echoing through every alien ship's speakers. "You see, we are not slow. We do not lag behind your technology. We are evolution in motion. Every attack you launch teaches us. Every hack you attempt sharpens our defenses. You think you are predators, but you are prey in a world you can't grasp." The holograms flickered on the Zornak flagship Vraxis. Orvex tech specialists shouted in disbelief as their code unraveled before their eyes. Takeda continued, "Our swarm adapts instantly. It rewrites its own instructions while under fire. It learns your every move faster than you can react." He paused, letting his words sink deep. The silence on the alien side was deafening. "You tried to hack our drones to turn them against us," Takeda said, voice low but fierce. "Instead, you handed us a mirror that reflected your own attacks back at you. Our drones attacked your command signals, scrambled your weapons, and turned your fleet into chaos." Volkov stepped forward, eyes burning with resolve. "We are not just fighting for survival. We fight to win. We innovate with every battle. While you cling to arrogance, we grow stronger." Takeda's gaze hardened. "This war is not won by brute force alone. It is won by those who refuse to stop thinking, learning, and adapting." He shifted his tone to one of warning. "Consider this your first lesson. Humanity is not a weak race to be conquered. We are the storm you did not see coming, the swarm of minds that grows sharper with every strike." On the Defiance's bridge, crew members watched the message broadcast live to the enemy. The Zornak faces on their screens twisted in shock and anger. Orvex hackers furiously typed, trying to regain control. It was useless. Takeda's voice rang out again. "You have underestimated us for the last time. We do not fear your weapons or your codes. We fear only one thing, failure to evolve." He turned to Volkov. Prepare the next wave. Let's show them what true adaptation means. Volkov nodded, fingers flying over the console. Our drones are ready. They're learning faster than ever. Takeda looked back at the alien comm feed, voice steady and cold as ice. This is only the beginning. Humanity fights not because we have no choice, but because we are born to win. The message ended. The silence that followed was heavy, filled with the weight of a new reality. Humanity was no longer the prey. They were the hunters, and the galaxy would never forget it. But just as the Zornaks celebrated their quick victory, something unexpected began to happen, something that would change the battle forever. The drones didn't obey the hacked commands. Instead, the entire swarm shifted. Like one living shadow, it twisted and turned in impossible patterns. The stolen code that once controlled thousands of tiny machines now seemed to slip through their fingers. Admiral Haruto Takeda watched the main holodisplay on the Atlantica's bridge. The swarm was no longer chaotic, it was deadly precise. Volkov's voice cut in, calm but fierce. They're rewriting the hack. The swarm is isolating the Orvex signal and feeding back false data. On the Zornak flagship Vraxis, panic spread fast. Orvex hackers scrambled, fingers flying over glowing blue consoles. Their confident smirks faded. Systems failing! The swarm is overriding our access! They're jamming our sensors! Barked Vitek, the lead Orvex hacker. Commander Krelmar's face tightened. No, this can't be. We cracked their code. He turned to the tactical officers. Alert all stations! Recalibrate targeting systems! The drones are deceiving us! But the damage was done. The swarm fed fake readings into the Zornak fleet sensors. Enemy ships began firing on each other by mistake. Missiles locked onto friendly hulls. Energy shields flickered and dropped. Look, exclaimed Volkov, pointing at the holomap. The swarm is breaking their formations. They're forcing the fleet apart. The Defiance and Liberator moved quickly to exploit the confusion. Human cruisers fired coordinated volleys of plasma and guided missiles. Each strike found its mark. On the bridge of the Atlantica, Takeda grinned. Now we hit the command ships, he said. Take out their eyes, their brain, and watch the whole beast crumble. Target the Vraxis, Volkov ordered. Focus everything on their flagship. The swarm responded instantly. Thousands of drones surged forward like a black storm. They clustered around the Vraxis, avoiding enemy turrets with impossible speed. The flagship's shields glowed under assault. Energy blasts from human cruisers pierced its hull. Explosions rocked the bridge as the Zornak struggled to maintain control. Vitek's voice lost its confidence. We're losing control of the flagship. The swarm breached the hull's defenses. Krelmar shouted orders, but the damage was overwhelming. Finally, the Vraxis shuddered violently. Systems failed one by one. Its massive engines faltered. The flagship broke formation and began a slow, painful retreat. Fall back, Krelmar growled. Regroup and retreat. But the damage was clear. The swarm had turned the tide. Across the battlefield, drone blackouts and flashing red lights marked the destruction of dozens of alien ships. Human voices filled the comm channels. Excellent work, team. Rivera's voice crackled from the Liberator. Keep pressure on their flanks. We're pushing them back, Volkov reported. The swarm's adaptive algorithms are crushing their coordinated strikes. On the Atlantica, Takeda allowed himself a rare smile. We underestimated them, he said quietly. Eyes on the stars. They thought they could control us like puppets. Instead, we broke their fingers. The fleet cheered softly over secure channels, but the admirals remained alert. This isn't over, Takeda warned, but tonight humanity controls the battlefield. On the Vraxis, Krelmar's fury was matched only by his fear. Prepare for full retreat, he barked. This battle is lost, but we will return, and next time we will be ready. But for now, the victorious hum of the drone swarm filled human ships. The black storm of drones moved like a living shield and sword. The tide had turned. Humanity had risen. And the galaxy would never again mistake humans for weak prey. Just when the Zornak and Orbex thought they had the upper hand, the human drones shifted tactics, turning the tide so quickly that their entire fleet was left scrambling to keep up. The Vraxis flagship's bridge echoed with frantic shouts. Alarms blared. Holographic screens flickered as the alien fleet's formations fractured. "Report!" barked Admiral Krelmar, his sharp claws tapping the console. Orvex hacker Vitek's eyes darted across streams of corrupted code. The drone swarm is rewriting its own programming in real time. We've lost control. Our hacks are being turned against us. Zornak officers exchanged worried glances. The once confident smirk on Krelmar's face faded. On the human side, the mood was grim but focused. Admiral Takeda stood tall on the Atlantica's bridge. They thought they could control us with a few lines of code. They underestimated the swarm's mind. Admiral Volkov nodded beside him. Our drones aren't just machines. They learn, they fight, they evolve. And right now, they're hunting the hunters. Across the battlefield, thousands of sleek black drones moved like a living shadow. They swirled in patterns the aliens couldn't predict, now blocking energy beams, now diving to sabotage alien sensors. Explosions blossomed across the Zornak fleet. The Vraxis suffered direct hits. Its shields flickered. The alien flagship shuddered under relentless swarm strikes. Enemy flagship exposed, called out a human tactical officer. All ships, focus fire! The Atlantica, Defiance, and Liberator unleashed coordinated volleys. Plasma blasts tore through the fractured alien lines. Back on the Vraxis, Krelmar growled, "Pull back! Don't let them surround us!" Vitek's claws flew over his console, trying in vain to repair the hacking breach. It's no use. Their swarm's countermeasures are too fast. We're blind, deaf, and vulnerable. The alien fleet began a retreat, battered and broken. Fall back! Fall back! Krelmar ordered, voice laced with rage and fear. As the Zornak and Orvex ships limped away, the humans held the battlefield. Admiral Volkov's voice came over the comm, calm and clear. All units maintain formation. Rescue any survivors. Begin repairs immediately. The human ships moved among the wreckage, deploying repair drones and gathering injured crew. Takeda addressed his fleet over the battlenet. This fight is won, but the war is not over. The Zornak and Orvex will return, stronger, smarter. They will learn from this defeat. Volkov added, "Good, let them come. Humanity has only just begun to unlock the swarm's true power." In the quiet moments after the battle, human engineers uploaded new software updates across the drone network. These updates contained deeper learning algorithms, faster adaptation routines, and advanced counter-hacking protocols. Takeda watched the swarm's patterns on the tactical display. They hacked our swarm. Now we control the battlefield. Behind him, the crew exchanged tired but proud smiles. Volkov's voice lowered. They thought they were predators. But we are the storm, the swarm that never stops, the future they feared. The damaged alien ships disappeared into the dark void, but the humans stood ready. Their drones hummed softly, a black cloud of silent watchers. "This is our home," Takeda said, "and we will defend it no matter the cost." The galaxy had learned a hard lesson today. Humanity was not to be underestimated.